All right, thank you guys. Welcome to the video here today. And if you're new here, I just want to take a quick time out and welcome you to my channel. My name is Brock Page and I do sports picks for free right here on YouTube. And if you end up liking today's video here today, if you like what you see, please feel free to hit that subscribe button and join the Brock Page family. I'd love to have you. And with that, guys, we're going to dive into some NBA action here today on a Wednesday. Happy hump day to you. The weekend is right around the corner. The Rockets take on the Cavs, 7:30 p.m. Eastern tip-off in Cleveland. The Houston Rockets are -3 on the road here. Totals 217.5. And if you like Cleveland in an upset victory on their home court, they're plus $1.30 on the money line. We're 3-1 in our last 4 extra daily picks on my Patreon website. We're also hitting at 67% in our last dozen premium sports picks in that very same tier membership. We currently have over 1,350 members just like you who are signed up and active on that page. Now, despite playing some pretty pathetic basketball over the past couple of weeks, Cleveland is actually coming fresh off an exciting 1-point victory over Atlanta just last night. And for as bad as these guys have been this season, the Cavs are actually just one game below 500 on their home court. And they're actually in the top 10 in home defensive rebounding. Now, Colin Sexton's scoring over 23 points a game, along with a couple of boards and 4 assists. Meanwhile, Darius Garland is scoring 16 a night, along with 2 rebounds and 5 assists as well. The Cavaliers have successfully covered the point spread in 4 out of their last 6 meetings with Houston. So both teams playing some pretty bad basketball, but I'm thinking I'm giving the slight edge to Cleveland here. We got to take a look at Houston here real quick. They may have to go to work without Eric Gordon and Victor Oladipo this evening. Both players listed as questionable. The Rockets have been victorious in just 1 out of their last 10 ball games, just 6-11 straight up as the official road team. They're dead last in the NBA in offensive three-point percentage, and they also rank in the bottom 5 in road defensive rebounding. Now, total-wise, Houston's 3-1 to the over in their last 4 ball games, 10-7 to the over when they travel. Meanwhile, the Cavs saw 4 out of their last 7 get over the line themselves, throwing out that Atlanta game last night. I'm going to lean toward the underdog Cleveland Cavaliers +3 and the over 217.5. Next matchup, it is going to be Celtics versus the Hawks, 7:30 p.m. Eastern start time. The Boston Celtics are -3 away from home. Numbers 227.5. Now, in my opinion here, it's kind of tough to back the Celtics laying points on the road in this spot here, especially considering how they've been playing lately. Boston is on a 2-game losing streak, and they also lost 7 out of their last 10 ball games. The Celtics have a .388 win percentage when they travel, and they failed to cover the point spread in 12 out of those 18 road games. Now, the Celtics are in the bottom 10 in road scoring, and they also average just 109 points a game away from their home court. Now, Boston is taking on an Atlanta squad who won 2 out of their last 4 themselves. Those were victories over the likes of Denver and this very Boston team. Now, the Atlanta Hawks currently lead the NBA in defending the 3-ball at home. They're also in the top 5 in home offensive rebounding as well. The Hawks are holding their opponents to just 33% shooting from beyond the arc at home. Now, keep an eye on Collins and Reddish. Both of those guys are questionable for Atlanta. So if you're looking to fire on this game, just kind of keep an eye on those two. Once again, both listed as day-to-day. Having said that, though, Trae Young is still scoring 27 points a game, along with 4 rebounds, 9 assists. Meanwhile, Clint Capella is dropping nearly 15 a night himself, along with 14 boards a game as well. Now, total-wise, Atlanta's 8-1 to the over in their last 9, 60% to the over in their last 10 meetings with Boston. Meanwhile, on the other side of things, 3 out of Boston's last 4 contests got over the line themselves. I'm going to lean toward yet another underdog in this one. Give me the underdog Atlanta Hawks +3 and the over 227.5. All right, next matchup I have for you, it is going to be Warriors versus the Pacers, 7:30 p.m. Eastern tip-off. The Pacers are the 2-point favorite at home. Numbers 229.5. Now, if you like the Warriors on the money line here, they're plus $1.10 for a slight upset. And for as good as they've looked in certain spots this season, this Golden State team just does not play well on the road. As a matter of fact, they're just 6-9 straight up when they travel. Only 40% against the number in those road games. The Warriors are dead last in defensive rebounding on the road, and they're letting their opponents make nearly 41% of their three-pointers in that same category. Golden State also gives up 116 points per contest as the official road team. Now they're taking on an Indiana squad who's won 3 out of their last 4 themselves, and they also went 3-1 against the spread in those 4 contests. The Pacers are led by Malcolm Brogdon, who's scoring 21 a night along with 4 rebounds and 6 assists. Meanwhile, Domantas Sabonis is also dropping 21 a game himself, along with 11 boards and 5 assists as well. The Pacers are in the top 10 in the NBA in fourth quarter scoring. I like the Pacers' chances in this contest here. Give me the Pacers -2, getting the job done on their home court. All right, next contest I have for you. It is going to be Timberwolves versus the Bulls, and that's going to be an 8 o'clock Eastern start. The Chicago Bulls are -4.5, totals 229 even. And speaking of the total in this one, we're looking at a Bulls team who's coming fresh off a game with Houston that fell about 7 points below the posted number. And as a matter of fact, Chicago saw 3 out of their last 4 ball games stay under the line. Now they're taking on a Minnesota squad who saw 2 out of their last 3 stay under the posted total themselves. Those unders were against the Knicks and Toronto during that short span. Now, the Minnesota Timberwolves are also 4-2 to the under in their last 6 ball games, and they also find themselves 9-8 to the under overall for the season when they travel. I'm actually going to lean toward the under 229 in that contest. Real quick, guys, the reason why this screen is black, I use the Xfinity app to bring up the different games that I scroll through. Sorry, I can't talk today. And there was an EAS alert, so when that happens, the emergency alert system takes over the TV, and I lose my screen. Anyway, next matchup, Spurs, Thunder, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Thunder's -2 at the Chesapeake, totals 216.5. OKC's lost 7 out of their last 9 ball games, just 4-10 straight up on their home court. OKC's in the bottom 3 in offensive rebounding, and they give up 117 points a game as the home team. Now they're taking on a San Antonio squad who, unfortunately, will have to go to work without DeMar DeRozan, Derek White, and Rudy Gay. Meanwhile, LaMarcus Aldridge is also questionable for tonight's ball game. Having said that, though, DeJounte Murray is still scoring over 15 points a game, along with 7 rebounds, 5 assists. Meanwhile, Keldon Johnson's also scoring almost 15 a night himself, along with 7 rebounds as well. Now, out of the Spurs' 12 road games, they successfully covered the point spread in 75% of those contests. So these guys are good at covering the number when they travel. And when it comes to the total on this one, San Antonio's leading scorer in DeMar DeRozan is out tonight. And San Antonio also saw 4 out of their last 6 ball games stay under the line. Meanwhile, OKC's 3-0 to the under in their last 3 themselves, 6-1 to the under in their last 7. I'm going to lean toward the underdog San Antonio Spurs +2 and the under 216.5. All right, next matchup, Pistons versus the Pelicans, 8 o'clock Eastern tip-off. The Pels are the 9.5-point favorite at the Smoothie King Center, totals 223. And New Orleans lost 5 out of their last 7 ball games, and they also posted a record of just 2-5 against the spread during that stretch. The Pels allow over 115 points a game, and they're letting their opponents make nearly 40% of their 3 balls. They're taking on an Orlando squad who's coming fresh off a big upset over who the hell did they play last night? I forget. But they held their opponents to just 93 total points in that contest. They played Orlando. Anyway, as bad as the Pistons are, they've been pretty successful covering the point spread lately. 6-3 against the number in their last 9. 9-8 against the number on the road, depending on where you're shopping at. Jeremy Grant scoring over 23 points a game for Detroit. 5 rebounds, 3 assists for the forward. Meanwhile, Josh Jackson's also scoring 13 a night himself, along with 4 rebounds as well. I'm going to lean toward the underdog Detroit Pistons +9.5, keeping that one within double digits. All right, next matchup, Raptors versus the Heat, 8 p.m. East. The Miami Heat's -3 at home, totals 214 and a hook. And if you like the Raptors in an upset, they're plus $1.35 for some money line cash. Toronto's won 4 out of their last 5 ball games, 6-3 against the number in their last 9. The Raptors are in the top 10 in road scoring, top 5 in road three-point percentage. Toronto's draining 40% of their shots from beyond the arc. Pascal Siakam scoring 20 points a game along with 7 rebounds, 4 assists. Meanwhile, Freddie VanVleet is also scoring nearly 20 a night himself, along with 4 rebounds and 6 assists as well. Now they're taking on a Miami squad who's covered just 4 of 14 contests at the American Airlines Arena this season. The Heat's also dead last in offensive rebounding at home, and they failed to cover the number in 4 out of their last 7 ball games, throwing out the OKC contest. Now Dragic, Hero, Silva, and Vincent are all questionable for tonight's action. I like the Raps catching some points on the road here. Give me the Toronto Raptors +3, getting the job done against the number. All right, next contest, I'm talking about Charlotte versus Phoenix, and that's going to be a 9 p.m. Eastern start time in the desert. The Phoenix Suns are the 10-point favorite at home, totals 225 and a half. Now Phoenix is on a 3-game winning streak, 12-2 straight up in their last 14. The Suns are in the top 3 defensively in points allowed at home, top 3 in defending the 3 ball as well. Devin Booker scoring 24 points a game along with 3 rebounds, 4 assists. Meanwhile, Chris Paul is scoring over 16 a night himself along with 4 boards and 8.5 assists as well. Phoenix is 11-5 straight up on their home court, and they also successfully covered the point spread in 69% of those home contests. They're allowing just 106 points a game at the Phoenix Arena. Now they're taking on a Charlotte team who may have to go to work without their leading scorer in Gordon Hayward here tonight. He's listed as day-to-day with a hand injury. And unfortunately, the Hornets are already going to have to go to work without Devontae Graham here this evening as well. The Hornets have really struggled to win on the road this season. They're just 5-8 straight up when they travel. And they're also ranking in the bottom 3 in the NBA and defending the 3 ball on the road. Now, Charlotte's letting their opponents make nearly 41% of their 3 balls when they travel. Now, the Charlotte defense is also giving up over 115 points a game as the official road team. Now, total-wise, when it comes to the number in this one, 4 out of Charlotte's last 5 ball games did get over the posted total, 70% to the over in their last 10. Meanwhile, the Suns are, 7 out of their last 8 contests got over the line themselves, 80% to the over in their last 10 meetings with Charlotte. I'm going to lean toward the Phoenix Suns -10 and the over 225 and a half. And with that, guys, we're going to dive into our next and final matchup for the show. It is going to be Lakers versus the Jazz, 10 p.m. East. The Jazz are -9, numbers 219. And as ridiculous as this number is, as ridiculously high as this number is, I just can't put myself to fading Utah in this spot here. They're 21-2 in their last 23 outings, 14-2 against the number on their home court. The Jazz currently lead the NBA in home defensive rebounding, and they allow just 106 points a game at the Vivint Smart Home Arena. Donovan Mitchell scoring 24 a game along with 4 rebounds, 5 assists. Meanwhile, Jordan Clarkson scoring 18 a game off the bench himself, 3 rebounds and a couple of assists for the role-playing point guard. The Jazz are also in the top 3 in scoring, top 3 in offensive three-point percentage. They're taking on a struggling Laker team who lost their last 3 straight, and they also failed to cover the point spread in 7 out of their last 9. Now, Los Angeles is in the bottom 10 in shooting the 3 ball, bottom 10 in road scoring. And, of course, when it comes to the scoring in this one, 3 out of the Lakers' last 4 outings stayed under the line, 13-3 to the under as the official road team. Meanwhile, the Jazz saw 3 out of their last 5 stay under the total themselves. I'm going to lean toward the Utah Jazz -9 and the under 219. And with that, guys, we're going to dive into our quick pick recap, powered to you by my Patreon website, where we are 3-1 in our last 4 extra daily picks on that Patreon page. We're also hitting at 67% in our last dozen premium sports picks in that same tier membership. I like Cleveland +3 over 217.5. I like the Atlanta Hawks +3 over 227 and a hook. I'm leaning toward the Indiana Pacers -2, getting the job done against the number. I also like the under 229 in the Timberwolves Bulls contest. Give me the Spurs +2 under 216.5. I also like the Pistons +9.5, keeping that one within double digits. I'm also leaning toward the Raptors +3, getting the job done against the spread. I like the Suns -10 over 225.5. And before I give you my next and final pick for the show, one final reminder to please hit that subscribe button right now if you ended up enjoying today's video. I'd greatly appreciate it if you did that for me. I'm going to lean toward the Utah Jazz -9 and the under 219. And with that, guys, just got to quickly remind you once again that all the content on my YouTube channel here is for entertainment purposes only. I don't make any guarantees of any kind. And with that, guys, we're going to dive into some YouTube shout-outs here. Shout out to Dat Wong, Benjamin Lucas, Mike Rose, SOP, LFD Striker, Philip Wilson, Blue Collar Man, Jerome Howard, Swavey380, Young Don, and last but certainly not least, gotta give a shout out to my man, Rob George. All right, guys, that's going to do it for me. Gotta thank you for joining me right here on YouTube. Really hope you enjoyed all this great free content, all this great free information. And with that said, happy Wednesday to you. Happy hump day to you. And have yourselves a more than marginal day today.